Throw-Ash is a quick fire extinguisher. When you have small fire at your house, use Throw-Ash to extinguish it.
Hello and welcome to the Outside View presented by Throwbars. So after the cricketing action that unfolded yesterday at Birmingham, we have a top four and we're all excited to see how the contest pans out in the coming days. To discuss what happened yesterday, what can we expect from today's matches, I have alongside me Yash Lahoti. Welcome Yash, how are you doing?
I am good. India is in the semifinals. Cannot be a better day to start off with.
So let's just start the talks with that match as well before we talk about Australia and, of course, the first game. India and Barbados, it was a virtual quarter-final match there. A lot of things that we were anticipating to watch. Special innings from Jemima Rodriguez and Deepti Sharma as well. And with the ball, Renuka Singh Thakur probably she resumed from where she left in the Sri Lanka series. Such impressive bowling performance. You concede just 10 runs, take 4 wickets. What is that making her a special gem for India, Yash?
I think so. Renuka Singh Thakur has been this good for a long time. At the domestic circuit, she was not getting her chances. Now that she's finally got her chances, she's showing that what she can do, and the conditions suit her. She's your swing bowler. The English conditions suit her. The Australian or the New Zealand conditions will again suit her. So I think so. It's the right opportunity for her, the right tracks. But yeah, debate can come that she also did well in Sri Lanka, which were Asian tracks. So she's just showing you what she has. Of course, we didn't see beyond a Julian Goswami or a Shikha Pandey for the last 5 years or so. This is a time that there is a new group, new restructuring happening, and when you see Renuka perform well and you see those 4 wickets, generally I don't think so she would have bowled all 4 overs in continuation. But just
Yeah.
because she's bowling that well, the captain or the team manager just wants to get the best out of her, not remove her after those 3-4 wickets that she took in the first 3 overs. So yeah, of course she's bowling her fourth over.
And the swing that she's bringing in, that's probably giving her an edge because the batters are finding it very difficult to pick that up and then play. But of course, we saw Pooja Vastrakar coming in the 11. That was an obvious replacement that we were looking like Sabini Nimegna will sit out. But what about getting in Tanya Bhatia, Yash? Because we've seen this confusion about the wicket keepers thing is just continuing for India. You drop Richa Ghosh, you get in Yastika and Tanya in the setup for the Commonwealth Games. Then you play Yastika for 2 games, then bring in Tanya. What's all this that's going on?
What's all this that's going on? I have a news for everyone. I don't know if I should break it, but I'll just do that. So it's that. So Richa Ghosh was not dropped. She has the same issue that Sneha Rana had. It is basically the fitness thing. So she has been asked to work on her fitness, and that's the reason she's not in the 15. So the reason Richa is not in the 15 is not that she was dropped for form or something like that. It was more of the fitness issue. So once Richa gets to her fitness back, then of course she will make the side. But till then, when both the Bhatiyas are there, I feel it's a little harsh on Yastika to be dropped from that team. I just hope that India thought that yes, we are going to make the semifinals. This game will be easy. That's the reason we want to just give Tanya the go, so that in case something happens, she's ready. So if that is the reason, I'm okay with it. But otherwise, to drop Yastika Bhatia for Tanya Bhatia in this particular India 11, and that too, when you don't have an S Meghna and you have replaced basically Pooja Vastrikar with a batter, seems very unreasonable because India yesterday, I think so, had 7 or 8 bowlers who bowled. So it was a little difficult, I thought. But yeah, it was an absolute shocker for me when Harman told that Bhatia is replacing Bhatia, and I was like, okay. I just hope there is no injury, and
Yeah.
there is no injury. So that's at least a good point. Ashwini, let's come down to that first innings. Uh,
Yeah.
Jemima Rodriguez did what she does the best. Your top three batters, Shafali, Smriti, Harman, getting all out, and then it was all on Jemima Rodriguez to do well. You were running a batter shot. How good do you think that performance was? Everybody was saying that the strike rate is low, but she did what she does the best.
I was so happy. Like I was enjoying yesterday's match. I was dead sleepy, but she actually kept me awake through the innings. To see her time the ball so well, like when Jenny gets and times the ball so well, picks up those lines and lengths so well, you just sit and admire. And this was the innings that we all were waiting for. She was in the part of the World Cup. There's so many discussions. Got into the Sri Lanka series. She's getting into a rhythm, and to see that, it was such a pleasure to watch her score that half century after such big gap. And she knew, as you said, that the way she paced innings, it was important for someone to stay there because unfortunately Shafali Verma was run out and then Harmanpreet Kaur's wicket. India needed that stability, and then they know that when Jimmy spends some time on the pitch, you can expect those big shots from her, and that's what we saw. And good that Deepti Sharma supported her well as well. She looked in good touch. She hit that six, and it was so lovely to see that she herself was in awe that it went so far away. So that was a lovely innings from both of them, and that's what we were expected to see. This was about the first match, of course. India now into the top four, and before that we saw Australia and Pakistan lock horns with each other. And we keep talking about the match winners in the Australian side. Probably there are these 10 players who can win games for Australia, and there's then Talia Magra who just stands out. What is it that she brings to the table, Yash? Because with the bat, job done. With the ball, again, she came in, picked up 3 wickets. Such a special talent for Australia.
Yeah, it's the only word I can use for her is consistency. Like there's nothing else that I can use. Whenever she's got her chances, she's just grabbed it with both hands and told that, oh, okay, this is my spot. She was not in the first 11. Ellis Perry was injured last year. She got, I think so, last year, 2020, 21. She got her first chance. And after that, it's never looking back. She's like, okay, you can sit out of that 11, I cannot. Anyone else can sit out of that 11, I cannot. I'll hit a 50 every time I bat in a T20. I'll try to score 100. I'll not get out. I'll pick 2, 3 wickets. How do you drop that player? It's impossible. Like,
Right.
even in the mighty Australian team, it's very much impossible. Like, everyone, when you come out, you talk about the Healys of the world, the Perrys of the world, the Lannings of the world, and people ignore your Magras of the world and Moonies of the world. But this is that Mac Mooney which is doing well. Ashwini, what do you think is that Mac Mooney? Because last year they were a thorn for India, and yesterday they were a thorn for Pakistan. Pakistan got the 2 wickets very early, but then they didn't get a wicket.
Right. So number three position, we always keep talking about it, is that it's difficult to come in there, especially when the early wickets fall. And Beth Mooney's been doing that. She silently comes, gets the job done for the side. There's no big fuzz about it, no talks in detail about it. She just comes there, does her job, takes time, and the way she supported Talia Magra there, both of them played such important innings yesterday. 70 not out she scored, Beth Mooney, and she's been doing this since always. And that's so lovely to see her coming in at that position and holding the fort of the side, which is very important because we've seen that Alisa Healy was not in best of her forms in the World Cup as well. And we were talking about that. And when the early wickets fall, you need someone to come there, step up for the side, give that much needed stability to the innings. And that's what Beth Mooney's been doing. And I am a part of the Beth Mooney fan club there, no doubts about that. So that
When are
was
you
in
getting
special.
the t-shirts ready?
Sorry?
When are you getting the t-shirts ready?
I'll ask one of our colleagues from our office because she is a big Australian supporter that she might just get that for me. So yeah, that was a special performance, and we expect from Australia because they are dominant. Yeah,
I read a tweet yesterday
yeah.
that Alisa Healy should. There is an idea that Alisa Healy should be rested for all the group games, and she should directly play the semis and the finals because that's where she performs the best.
She'll come in the final. She'll break all the records now that women's cricket is making its debut in the Commonwealth Games. So I'm sure there are a lot of firsts that she can aim to get there. So Elisa Healy special. Probably she's keeping the best for the finals, and we'll see when, if at all, Australia wins that gold. You'll see Elisa Healy breaking all the records there for sure. This was all the action that we saw yesterday. Of course, moving on to today, we'll see Sri Lanka and South Africa there first up. important game for both the teams. It might seem like a dead rubber, but both the sides will be aiming to get their first victory in the Commonwealth Games and end their campaign on a positive note, get that victory in their kitty before they leave Birmingham. So we know that South Africa's bowling unit has been a weak link for them, Yash. But we've seen that Sri Lanka has struggled with batting. So is this an ideal opportunity for South Africa today to come strong and get that much needed victory to at least boost their morals?
It's a boosting of morale for both the teams.
Yeah.
It's actually a dead rubber because none of them can progress to the semis. None of
Yeah.
them can have a medal now. So it's actually a dead rubber. But for South Africa especially, it's going to be how they want to move further. Do they want to still have your Laura Wolfart at whatever 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the position? Do you still don't want to open with her? Do you want to do any other changes to your team? Because see, you are looking at a home World Cup.
Yeah.
That's where the preparations have to be. You've already lost on the Commonwealth Games, and the home World Cup is what, 4 to 6 months away. So it's not a lot of time. They know the conditions the best. They know the three grounds very well. I think so. For South Africa, it's going to be what strategies they want to use. Um, are they going to is Danewa Nika going to play the 100? Is Marizan Gap going to come for the 100? Because they are going to play in England, and a lot of other players are going to play. It's Mignon Dupree, Lizelli. Lizelli is retired, but yeah, a lot of players will be playing that 100 as well in the next coming days. So it depends on how South Africa would want to take it forward, on how CSA would want to see their team going forward, on how the captaincy strategy is going to work. Because Danewa Nikak, when she returns, ideally only has 4 months, and she's already
Yeah.
lost the last 2 years of captaincy. We need to rebuild her team. This is Sunili's team. Danewa Nikak's team could be a lot different. So all of these permutations and combinations are going to be important. And as far as South Africa's bowling lineup is considered, see, you only need to take the wicket of Chamari Atapattu. If you take that wicket, the win is yours. If Atapattu scores anything above 75, 80, the win is Sri Lanka's. So it's that simple an equation. The other players can maximum have supporting acts, but it's not going to rely a lot. What do you
Right.
think, Ashwini? Do you feel the same way as I do? Do you feel Sri Lanka has a chance, or do you feel South Africa clearly are the favorites, but they just need to see wherein their batting order revolves?
Certainly, there would be questions about their batting order. I would want to see Laura Wolfart open the innings today. Of course, the openers did a good job in the last match, but then you can't play with that sort of a run rate in T20s. You just have 120 balls, and we always keep talking that your best batter should face the most number of balls. So why not get Laura Wolfart at the opening? You have nothing to lose, nothing to gain from today's match. And of course, South Africa's situation currently just shows that how much a team environment or a team result is affected by not having those key players. You don't have Marizan Kapp, as you rightly mentioned. You don't have Dane van Niekerk. Lizel Lee has retired. So these were the three important players in the South African setup, and their absence is hurting South Africa, and it's hurting South Africa badly. Talking of Sri Lanka, there you have their bowling as their strength there. Inuka Ranavira, Ushadi Ranasinghe, two experienced campaigners there, and they've been doing the job for the side. It's the batting that has let them down. So today, if Sri Lanka has to provide any sort of competition there to South Africa, you need a Chamari Atapattu special. There is no way out. The captain hasn't really striked in those last two matches, but today it should be her day if Sri Lanka is aiming to get that win or at least put a decent total or to chase down the total, whichever way it is. So if Sri Lanka has to do, as you rightly mentioned, you need a Chamari Atapattu special because if you have runs on the board, Sri Lanka has that bowling attack that might pose some threat to South Africa there. So let's see how that pans out. We are all excited to see who gets that final win from this match. And then the second match would be as interesting as the first one because New Zealand and England will lock horns with each other. Both of them come from the winning momentum. They've won both their matches so far. But who, according to you, has a slight edge in today's match there, Yash?
That should be easy. I think so. England is the answer.
Hmm.
New Zealand have a great batting lineup, but their bowling lineup is not as good as their batting lineup. And if you just remove the top three of New Zealand, then it's going to be troublesome for New Zealand. Like for example, you saw England in the last game; they lost their 5 wickets for 90 odd. But then Amy Jones and Catherine Brunt, and they also had Sophie Eccleston still up there in the dugout. So there are chances that England has a lengthier tail and a good batting lineup and everything. But at the
I'm
same time, yeah,
Yeah. I'm personally waiting to see a Sophia Dunkley special today because we haven't really seen this in
I
Commonwealth
just
Games.
hope that happens. I just hope that happens. Yeah. So that is again something that you can potentially have. But yeah, it's going to depend. I just feel it's 80-20 in favor of England. But I
Hmm.
would not want to see that because if England wins, they play India in that semis. So
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult. I just hope New Zealand wins so that it's an India New Zealand semis, and it's a little easier for India to beat New Zealand than to beat England.
Yeah, with the Indian perspective, we can always do that match, but it would be an important game for both the sides. Both the sides would want to continue their domination, of course. New Zealand have so many experienced players in their setup. We are also waiting to see that Amelia Kerr performance coming in. We haven't seen it in the recent times in the Commonwealth Games, especially. But when I was talking about Sophia Dunkley, I mentioned it because when we had a chat with Danny Wyatt, she said that look out for Sophia Dunkley. She's been amongst the runs. She's in a beast mode, and probably today we might just see her go to that go to her zone and get those big innings for England because it will be important come the gold medal and the silver medal whatever match is coming. So it will be interesting to see who's your player to watch out for. I'm rooting for Sophia Dunkley. Who are you rooting for?
I'll take her batting partner. I'll take Danny Wyatt as my player to watch out for. I just feel that she's done that 20s, 30s, 40s. It's
Yeah.
time for her to go a little beyond that. So that's why I'll just choose Danny Wyatt today. And this is her format. She knows T20 is better than a lot of people do. But the
So
big news is that England are going to miss Heather Knight for the rest of the tournament. They are running with a 14-member squad. Heather Knight
yeah.
has been ruled out of that competition, and will she's still going to be in the dugout. So that's a little bit of a good news. But at the same time, she's not going to be on the field. Natalie Silver is an able captain, but end of the day, I just hope England don't miss Heather Knight a lot. They have a lot of capability. There is Alice Capsey, Maya Bouchier, a lot of players. But end of the day, your captain is your captain.
Your captain is your captain, certainly, and there would be this. This is an unfortunate thing for England, but I and Yash, we both are rooting for the openers, the England openers. So it would be great to see if they start the innings on a very positive note and prove both of us right. We'll find that out tomorrow when we join you guys. But this was all about today. We'll join you with the updates of today's matches in tomorrow's live. So make sure that you tune in to Women's Cricket Zone for all the updates on women's cricket.
Throwers is a good fire extinguisher. When you have small fire at your house, use throwers to extinguish it.